Have you heard of comic books? They're like movies without a budget, and there seems to be quite a resurgence of horror in comics lately. That's what this series is here for, letting you know what's new this week in comic shops, December 7th, 2022. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. Let's check out This Week in Comic Book Horror, December 7th, 2022. Daughter of Wolves #2 is from Regolith Comics. The story is by Tristan Vick, with art by Randal. This comic looks to be set in feudal Japan, but focuses on some samurai taking on rogue werewolves and vampire gang lords. This mix of classic kung fu and monsters has my interests piqued. Though the cover doesn't scream horror to me, the description of this issue does, so this might be a surprise for horror fans. Silent Night, Deadly Night #1 is from American Mythology. The story is by James Kuhoric and S.A. Czech, with art by Puis Calzada. Classic slasher fans get excited. 40 years after the events of the films, a new killer dons the Santa suit to go on a murderous rampage. How does the killer have ties to the original, who had the audacity to impale Linnea Quigley on a mounted deer head? Who knows? But no one, I repeat, no one impales Linnea Quigley on a mounted deer head on my watch. Godzilla, Monsters and Protectors, All Hail the King #3 is from IDW Publishing. The story is by Erik Burnham, and the art is by Dan Schoening. Aliens awaken King Ghidorah, and that doesn't sit well with Godzilla. It's more monster mayhem unleashed in this series filled with titanic destruction. Vampirella vs. Red Sonja #2 is from Dynamite Entertainment. The story is by Dan Abnett, with art by Alessandro Ranaldi. This is a tale of Red Sonja and Vampirella, each recruiting members of the public domain heroes known as Project Superpowers, which was revitalized by Alex Ross a while back for Dynamite, for an epic battle. I'm not sure why Vampy and Sonja are fighting, but one thing's for sure, it means there's going to be a whole lot of on the battlefield. Bloodstained Teeth #7 is from Image Comics. The story is by Christian Ward, with art by Patric Reynolds. Set in a world of vampires, Atticus Stone, the scoundrel star of the series, is pursued by the vicious mob hitman Mr. Tooth. Series co-creator Patric Reynolds returns in this issue to continue the ongoing story that feels a lot like Han Solo's adventures with Boba Fett on his tail, except this time with teeth. Rick and Morty vs. Cthulhu #1 is from Oni Press. The story is by Jim Zub, with art by Leonardo Ito. Rick and Morty stumble through a universe filled with fish people and sentient colors in this ode to one of the masters of terror through the skewed Rick and Morty lens. Zub is writing, so it's bound to be fun. The Walking Dead Deluxe #52 is from Skybound Entertainment. The story is by Robert Kirkman, with art by Charlie Adlard. Rick and Coral reunite with some familiar faces in this issue, as the gang is still attempting to pick up the pieces from issue 50's Devastation. All of it newly presented in blood red color, among other colors. Night of the Ghoul #3 is from Comixology. The story is by Scott Snyder, with art by Francesco Francavilla. The lost film, Night of the Ghoul, which is coincidentally like the title of this book, is found, but the cult behind the movie is not pleased with it being uncovered. This is more horror from one of comic bookdom's strongest horror scribes, Scott Snyder. Spawn #336 is from Image Comics. The story is by Rory McConneville, with art by Carlo Barbieri. Though I'm not reading it, not because I don't like Spawn, but there are just other books that interest me more right now. Spawn is one of the more popular horror characters in comics. Who am I kidding? I never really liked Spawn. But please, tell me why you do down in the comments. I'd love to know the appeal, other than just that the character looks pretty cool. Ghost Rider number 9 is from Marvel Comics. The story is by Benjamin Percy, with art by Corey Smith. In this issue, Ghost Rider comes face to face with a creature birthed from his own tumor known as Exhaust, a smoke-belching man-machine hybrid out to destroy Old Flamehead. See Benjamin Percy bring a new arch-villain to life in this consistently strong comic book series. Hexware number 1 is from Image Comics. The story is by Tim Seeley, with art by Zulema Scoto-Lavina. The last place one might think to find a witch is in the corporate world, until now. See how spells and corporate tech mesh together in this new next-level horror series about witchcraft and malware. Shock Shop number 4 is from Dark Horse Comics. The story is by Colin Bunn, with art by Layla Lees and Daniel Luckert. This is the final issue of Colin Bunn's double-feature horror anthology. One story has body horror in the woods, while the other has parental woes with a pack of hungry ghosts. I've been digging both stories and can't wait to see how both of them end up. Plus, this is a flip book, so you get a little extra exercise reading this one. Little Monsters number 8 is from Image Comics. The story is by Jeff Lemire, with art by Dustin Nguyen. I'm continuing to love this series, focusing on a band of vampire children who never grow old. It's fun seeing their different extreme personas bounce off of one another in this world where humans are as scant as unicorns. Nguyen's art is top-notch as well. Predator number 5 is from Marvel Comics. The story is by Ed Brisson, with art by Kev Walker. Kayla, the protagonist in this series so far, is taken prisoner by an alien race. But will the predators who are out to hunt her down prove to be her saviors? Find out in this action-packed horror sci-fi schmeld of a series. Gargoyles number 1 is from Dynamite Entertainment. The story is by Greg Weisman, with art by George Kambadius. Remember Gargoyles, the animated series? It was quite the sensation back in the day, and now it's back and continuing right where the classic series left off. While I can't say I'm an expert on Gargoyles, I do remember liking the series quite a bit, and will definitely be checking out this new series from Dynamite. Well, that's it for this week's haul. I'll be picking up a bunch of these titles, including Shock Shop, Ghost Rider, Little Monsters, Predator, Night of the Ghoul. I'm going to try to track down Silent Night, Deadly Night, and most definitely I'll be reading Gargoyles. How's about you? Let me know which ones look good to you down in the comments.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. God doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. To live inside that